Now, I want to talk about this recent story involving DJ Akademiks and a few other people. It's been going viral for the last day and a half, and I have a couple things to say about it. So first of all, for anyone who's not familiar with the name, DJ Akademiks is one of the most popular internet media platforms, particularly within hip-hop media. He's also a popular live streamer, entrepreneur, and a couple other things as well. The other day, a clip involving DJ Akademiks and a group of people, all on Discord, speaking to a 15-year-old streamer by the name of Noor, went viral. Noor is a 15-year-old streamer based in Malaysia who's apparently been working with another famous streamer, Blacky Spez, as a moderator for his streams. Recently, DJ Akademiks, Noor, and a bunch of other people were on this Discord call as they were playing some games. And let's just say that a lot of inappropriate conversations were being had between DJ Akademiks, the other people in the call, and the young boy.
Yo, Noor, what's your address? I'm gonna send some strippers over there.
Slow down, yo. I am 15. I hope you know that, bro. You trying to get...
You scared of women, bro.
I'm not scared of women. Yo, bro, you trying to put me on a case. You trying to put them on a case.
So?
What you mean, so? That's weird.
You know all the rappers lost their virginity to like old women, right?
So what you heard right there was one of the people in the call, don't know exactly who that was, essentially saying to this 15-year-old boy, "Lil bro, I'ma send you some strippers your way to lose your virginity." The young boy pushes back and says, "You're essentially trying to put a case on these women because I am underage." That's what he says, right? Obviously, this is a very smart young man because how the hell does he know better than these adults? I don't really know. The person in the call then says, "Hey, all these rappers lost their virginity to older women," in an attempt to incentivize him to say, "Yes, send them my way." For clarification, none of these people are related to this kid. Not saying that it would make it okay, but obviously it makes it way worse, right? Now later on, and this is when Akademiks comes into the equation. Ak asks some questions like, isn't there another 15-year-old girl you could have sex with in order to lose your virginity?
So you tell me that there's not another 15-year-old that you could bust down?
Yo, bro.
Like, I'm serious. So there's not another 15-year-old you could bust down.
You go to school?
All right, imagine. So if you could do one of them sex changes and you could become a girl.
No.
And get pregnant.
That's where he drew the line. He said no.
Would you let Max get you pregnant?
No. That would be gay.
If he actually...
If Max said he wanted to try fucking a dude, would you let him fuck you?
No.
As you could hear, another person in the call also asked him if you could do a sex change and get pregnant, would you let Blacky Spez get you pregnant? And then back to Akademiks, who asked him if Blacky Spez wanted to have sex with another man, would you let him F you? Now, I know that the kid is laughing, which a lot of people have been bringing up to say they were all just playing around, big bruh, little bruh shit. Akademiks himself even responded to this by saying, hey, we were trolling and this was like our little brother and we sent him money because he was depressed and wasn't doing good.
It was us that was picking that nigga up, treating him like a little bro, like, yo, like actually our little brother. Nigga was sending him money.
No matter what it appears like and no matter his reaction, he is a child. There's no buts for this. It just is what it is, right? There's no way around it. Grown men shouldn't be having conversations about sex with other children, especially children they aren't related to. And again, I don't say that to say just because you're related, it makes it okay, right? In a situation where you are, even then there's boundaries you can't cross. Unless you're the legal guardian, then hey, you gotta raise your children the way you feel like is the right way to raise them for you, right? I got plenty of little cousins who I don't speak to them about sex in this manner, right? Now there's a time and place for it, and even then there's a way to do it, but it ain't like this. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And I'm sure you can agree with me. And then there's another step of that, which is you always got to get the blessings from the legal guardians of the child to have certain conversations so you don't really cross any boundaries, right? Children can't give consent to having these conversations, which is why parents should control how much access other adults have to their children communication wise, but that's going into a whole nother conversation. And then back to Akademiks, he then says, if Blacky Spez's sister was going to give you some pussy, would you take it? The kid responds and says that would be grooming because she's above 18.
Yo, if Max got a sister and she threw you the box, would you smash her?
He already has a sister.
Alright, if she threw you the box, would you smash?
No, because I'm 15.
What I mean?
She's above 18.
What I mean?
Okay, what does that mean?
It will be grooming.
It'll be what?
Grooming.
That has nothing to do with you.
So those are the relevant clips in question, and that's the story in brief. Kind of want to give you my take on this entire situation because Akademiks has been trending on Twitter for the last 24 hours. So I want to start off by saying, Akademiks, there's absolutely no excuse for the things that were being discussed with that kid in that Discord call. It was wrong 100%. And I know that Akademiks is kind of taking accountability by saying that his actions were regrettable, but when the taking of accountability and responsibility is convoluted with a lot of other things, I think it's a problem, right? And I think everyone in that call, including Akademiks, should know better. You know, one of the things I regret in my life is not holding the men around me more accountable, especially when it comes to issues like this. Speaking as a man, I can tell you that there's a tendency in our culture to overlook toxic behavior amongst our peers simply because we share a bond or a certain relationship with them. Now, as I look back in my life and I recognize the times I failed to hold my fellow men accountable, I see how that neglect creates a ripple effect. Essentially, by not speaking up, I was enabling harmful behavior to continue on in the world. That's just how that works, right? And I think people, especially men, need to realize that for every action that goes unchecked, we're not just letting it slide, we're creating a snowball effect, and that builds a culture of behavior that slowly seeps into everything that we're doing, influencing the way we interact with people, the way we treat others, and the kind of environment we crave for ourselves and the people around us. Now, for this specific story right here, we have a 15-year-old boy, okay, in a live stream with a bunch of grown men, and they're talking a bunch of sexual things with this little boy, which is just, it's not appropriate at all. It's very inappropriate. I understand that sometimes you might have a relationship with someone who's younger. Let's say if you're an older man and you're, let's say, mentoring some younger cats, which I do myself, with the blessing of their legal guardians, okay? But even then, there has to be a certain standard for how we engage in these conversations, especially when it comes to topics like sex. I mean, that's a no-go zone. Talking about that is just very inappropriate, period. That's the standard right there. The biggest reason for this is that sexual trauma is one of the most profound and lasting impacts someone can experience. And I'm not trying to imply that this will necessarily cause trauma to, this young man right here, but what it does is create a world where the boundaries of sexual conversations between older and younger people start to become blurred, and eventually it becomes more acceptable, because this type of conversation is the kind of conversation that predators use with their victims before crossing a line. One of the reasons why the outrage around this story was so big and so intense is because, and this is what I think, is because so many people see themselves in this conversation right here that we had with that kid in that Discord call, whether they've experienced it firsthand or witnessed similar dynamics in their own lives. Bottom line is, if you as a grown man engage in this type of conversation with children, what kind of message are you sending to the young men who look up to you? That it's normal to talk like this to the younger kids, and then when they grow up, potentially subjecting other children, or God forbid, their own, to the same type of behavior. That means that we're normalizing something that should never be accepted, and that ripple effect is devastating. Also, I don't know anything about this kid right here, but I'm wondering why he's on a live stream with other grown men on the internet. Some people might say you're victim blaming, and you can call it what you want. I'm just simply looking out for this kid. I want to know where his parents are. Apparently his mother passed away, but where's his father? That's what I'm wondering. And he's 15 years old, so I doubt he lives completely on his own. Possible, but I doubt it. So I'm wondering, who is his legal guardian, and why are they not monitoring the relationships he has with other people over the internet? That's another important point I want to highlight. Aside from what we've already mentioned, there's a culture which is very prominent that includes giving children cell phones without any real limitations on what they can access. And that opens up a whole can of worms, because it exposes them to not only inappropriate content, but also the potential for harmful interactions that they're not equipped to handle, especially with other adults, right? A child can easily be manipulated by an adult with access to these devices, especially when they're vulnerable and they don't have the maturity to recognize the dangers. And this opens the door for grooming, exploitation, and other predatory behaviors that can have lasting effects on their emotional and psychological well-being. Overall, the lack of boundaries, the unchecked access to technology, and the normalization of inappropriate behavior towards children all creates a dangerous environment for young people. And it's on us to start holding each other accountable. I'm talking to all my men out there, man, so we can protect the next generation from the harm that comes from neglecting these issues. And that will be my message to Akademiks, who's actually shown my platform love on countless of occasions throughout the years. Despite that, I can't turn a blind eye to this. It's bigger than personal connections. This is about what's right and what's setting a dangerous precedent for those who look up to us. And that obviously includes me, okay? Anyone else in my space, and all of us who have any kind of influence. We all have a responsibility to make sure we're setting the right example, especially when it comes to protecting the younger generation from harmful behaviors. Anyway, any thoughts on this DJ Akademiks story? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. See you in the comment section below, but most importantly, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace, I'm out.